Imagine a country that in just 4 years went from being the most dangerous in the Americas with one of the world's highest homicide rates to becoming the safest country in all of the Americas, which is considered the world capital of surfing. And they call dogs chuchos. Is traveling worth it? Did you guess which country it is? Today we're embarking on a journey full of wild experiences, amazing changes, and incredible people in the land of pupusas. Welcome to El Salvador, a country that has undergone an epic transformation in recent years.
But when we passed through there, on our trip from Argentina to Alaska, that transformation was just beginning.
September 2018. We had been traveling for exactly 1,200 days and were entering our 10th country on this journey, from Argentina to Alaska. El Salvador.
We've checked out of Honduras and are about to enter El Salvador, which is right here.
Called the Little Thumb of America, it has 6.7 million people, over 20 volcanoes, and tropical rainforests. And it's incredibly hot.
Andy is sweating because of the heat. That's how I am, all sweaty.
Show your nose so it can be seen. Oh god, it's so hot.
My nose.
There we are, you and me. No, please.
Oh my god, it's so hot.
The country has 14 departments, and we entered through La Union. And our plan was to cross the whole country, with the idea of passing through most of the Salvadoran states. President Nayib Bukele welcomed us at sunset, though the romantic mood quickly faded. When we had our first problem, we ran out of gas.
Are you gonna film me getting angry?
Due to a logistical issue, Andy drives while Cynthia navigates and chooses stops.
Oh, you tell the story. Let's hear your version.
Cynthia says, "Turn here, pay the toll here, stop for gas here." But she didn't tell me to stop, just that we need gas. We ran out of gas, stopped at a house to ask for some, and they sold us gas. It worked out. El Salvador's gastronomy is based on corn, beans, rice, cheese, meats, and various fruits and vegetables.
But everyone recommended that we try the world-famous pupusas. It's a condo usually filled with cheese, beans, or meat.
We found them everywhere and enjoyed them throughout our entire trip in El Salvador. In fact, something magical happened. We met Adela.
Good morning. Welcome to Adela, Pupusas and More.
She offered our first exchange of the trip. We could stay at her beachside restaurant in exchange for Sin making some wooden signs for her, which turned out beautiful, and for me to create her Facebook page and a couple of videos to promote her restaurant. The good news: food was included and Adela's cooking was incredible. We tried it all: bean soup, eggs, plantains, fried foods, cutlets, shrimp, fish, sandwiches, and tacos. I couldn't imagine a better immersion in a country's food culture than this. Surfing is a top sport in El Salvador, with El Cuco being one of the best beaches for it. We're not very good at that sport, but we went to this beach and witnessed a beautiful event.
Let's go see turtles. They released them here. They're so tiny. It went back again. Naturally, they get very tired.
Only 1 in 100 turtles survives to adulthood. Here, groups of volunteers often protect eggs and safely release them by the sea. Experiencing this was a beautiful spectacle, but now it was time for us to start traveling the roads of El Salvador. In 2023, El Salvador is drawing global attention for its security, monetary policy, and tourism initiatives. But back then, in 2018, none of this was happening. It had a rate of 50 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants, one of the highest in the world. But it wasn't the worst. That was in 2015. Just 3 years earlier, when it became one of the most dangerous countries in America, with the tragic average of 1 murder every 2 hours. What was the cause of so much violence? To the Maras, urban gangs that originated in the United States, more precisely in the neighborhoods of Los Angeles and later spread to Central America. They are known for unique tattoos and crimes like drug trafficking and extorting merchants. The most well-known are the Mara Salvatrucha and the 18th Street Gang. Just 3 years before our visit, in 2015, El Salvador had the world's highest homicide rate for a non-war country, with 103 per 100,000 people. Despite all this, we went anyway. To learn about El Salvador and find out why it's worth visiting, we started traveling its roads. Well, we wanted to sleep on any street. We looked for a place to sleep the first few nights, and that's how it went for us.
The gentleman was kind, but he said conflicts often happen here and there could be a shootout. That it was dangerous for us to be here. So they didn't allow people to stay. So he told us about the firefighters.
Test 2. They made her sit down.
No, they had an issue with the travelers, so they were forbidden from receiving travelers. We went to the military hospital, everyone armed there. Well, they told us we could stay here, that is safe, we just have to wait for a taxi to move.
6:34 in the morning, super early. We had a very unusual wake-up call. An accident. The first thing that catches my attention on the roads is the number of stands selling local fruits. The landscape is beautiful and we found several viewpoints to better enjoy El Salvador's beauty. Street stalls are very common and offer a perfect experience to learn more about the country and its culture. How is it? And here we reached exactly half of the trip, although at that moment we didn't know it.
We reached 30,000 kilometers traveling through the roads of America.
In El Salvador, you can go crazy exploring places. It has everything, and because of our travel style, we had the privilege of getting to know a lot of beautiful places.
Among the ones we enjoyed the most is the Salto de Malacatiupan, an impressive natural spectacle made up of a beautiful waterfall surrounded by vegetation with crystal clear waters that fall from imposing heights.
The water is really warm. Beautiful. That's where I made a huge leap into the water. The fascinating ruins of the El Tasumal Archaeological Park, downtown Santa Ana, with its cathedral and its streets full of colors. The Presidential Palace, with all its history and importance for the country's decisions. El Boquerón, a spectacular volcanic crater, although we didn't see much because it was cloudy. The Coatepec Volcano, a tremendous inactive volcano surrounded by the beautiful Lake Coatepec. The Route of the Flowers, a journey that passes through picturesque tourist towns full of flowers, handicrafts, and history. We were fascinated by its tremendous beaches, routes, and mountains.
How nice.
We even saw several street parties and celebrations which never failed to fascinate us. But now we have to talk about the people of El Salvador, and that for sure is a serious matter. We had been traveling for 3 years and we had already learned that in places with very difficult social situations, people were usually incredibly kind. El Salvador was not only not the exception, but it surprised us with a lot of actions that caught us off guard.
Imagine only knowing him through things in social media.
They lent us a house with a pool on the beach so we could enjoy it for as long as we wanted. Edith, a Salvadoran living in the United States, wrote, "I have a ranch I'd love to lend you. So you can go, relax, do whatever you want to do. So here we are ready." The station wagon was breaking down, but we had an appointment 50 kilometers from where we were, and we decided to hitchhike. Or hitch a ride, as they say in El Salvador, without having the slightest experience, and we ended up traveling and meeting great people along the way. And on our last ride here, our friend Roberto stopped, showing once again the good vibes of El Salvador. We thank you so much for the good vibes, for the conversation, and for giving us a ride. Also, for the first time, something unexpected happened to us. Today we'll experience something I still can't believe. But yes, a mayor invited us to visit his city. They made us feel like Hollywood stars. They took us to an air traffic control tower simulator at Lake de Lopango, located in a volcano crater. And they even did this. They closed the main square because we were coming, and they set up this whole entrepreneurs fair, which is held once a year. They did it today because we were coming.
600 entrepreneurs making different crafts. It's very complete.
Imagine walking into the square with everyone staring at us as if thinking, why did we have to come to work today? An unforgettable experience. Also in El Salvador,
We started having meetups with followers of the channel.
Traveling is worth it!
And they kept getting bigger and bigger.
and full of wonderful people with whom we were able to talk, get to know each other, and learn much more about the country's culture.
Traveling is worth it!
We met famous local YouTubers such as Los Genios de Neto and Manique from Deschavetados, and even a family. He took the time to fix the roof of our van, which was getting rusty. The repairs continue, and they did a ton of amazing work on the estanciera. Totally crazy. Also, we met people who were interested in knowing where we came from and in learning about and experiencing our culture. Here we are with Sandra, who's gonna try mate for the first time in her life. And we also found out that they know how to recognize when they make a bad choice.
Honor to Argentina, where Leo Messi and Carlos Tevez live.
River Plate.
No! Boca Juniors, La Bombonera, my friend, La Bombonera.
But who won the last 9th of December Copa Libertadores?
River Plate.
But going back to the topic of insecurity, while we were in El Salvador, we also experienced a dangerous situation.
We went to bed because everything was calm with repeated recommendations confirming it. And suddenly someone opened our door.
A guy, I think he was on drugs, maybe drunk, and he started telling us to give him money or we were going to have a bad time.
We were so scared. Andy closed the door on him and said, "Okay, wait a few minutes, I'll give it to you."
He said okay.
Well, he said okay and waited. And I looked and saw that a car was coming, so I jumped out of the car barefoot.
With a sleepy face.
I said, "Thank goodness you're here. That guy is threatening us." He asked me what did he say? I replied, he wanted money or we'd be in trouble.
We were in El Salvador twice on this trip. The second time we entered was in August of 2019. A new government and president had just taken office. It had happened recently, and the people we met were happy about the coming change. There were promises of increased security and efforts to stop criminal organizations. They built the largest prison in the Americas, holding 40,000 people, which opened in January 2023. By the way, in El Salvador, we also had to go to prison. We spent a few days with some people in charge of building a prison, and they invited us to see it.
I had never been in a prison before. I can't really see this as a prison yet, because since it's still under construction, you know it's going to be used to put inmates in.
But it's hard to imagine what life will be like in here in a couple of months. It was a different experience, and I'm really glad I went through it. But getting back to the main topic, since the state of emergency was declared in March 2022, more than 68,000 people have been detained in El Salvador. The country has just under 7 million people, and 1% of the population was detained for gang-related issues. Today, it has the highest incarceration rate in the world.
1,536 people per 100,000 inhabitants.
This revolution, along with other measures, reduced the homicide rate from 103 in 2015 to under 8 per 100,000 inhabitants today. In May 2023, President Nayib Bukele tweeted they had achieved a historic milestone, a year without homicides. In a very short time, it went from being the world's most dangerous country to having the lowest homicide rate in the Americas and becoming one of the continent's safest. It also became a global leader by making Bitcoin legal tender. It hosted the 2023 Central American and Caribbean Games, the World Surf League, and Miss Universe. Definitely a huge change that personally fills me with satisfaction because of the number of wonderful people I met. I came here thinking it would be just another country, and it turned out to be one of the ones I enjoyed the most, no doubt about it. Traveling to El Salvador is worth it. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and share it. Is there a country you'd like me to feature in a future video from our Argentina to Alaska trip? Let me know in the comments. I'm sending you a big hug, and I'll see you in the next video. Traveling is worth it.